Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Redox Signaling Molecule presentation. Let me just tell you briefly what we're gonna do during this hour that we spent together. I'll be excited to welcome Dr. Marty Morin, who is kind enough today to step in for Dr. Silverman, and he will be doing presentation about redox signaling molecules. We will also have a wonderful testimonial from somebody who is very special to me, because that's actually the person who introduced this technology to me, Bob Hayek, that will come in a second. So we are going to talk about redox signaling molecules, and your friends probably invited you to this call because they want to make sure that you are aware of this breakthrough and what it can do for you. And so you can have your questions answered. At the end of the call, Dr. Morin will be kind enough to answer any questions you may have. So please put them in the chat and I'll bring them to Dr. Morin in the order we received them. If you are a caring person, I'm sure during this conversation, you will be thinking of people, loved ones, other people that this technology may help. I would love to encourage you to bring friends and family here either next week, the same time on this Zoom call every Tuesday morning, or afternoon in Europe, or evening in Asia. And we also have another call tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time when Dr. Carolyn Hoffman is doing presentation and also answering questions. And we have another call every Saturday morning, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, that is with Dr. Silverman, where he only talks to safety, usage, proper usage, proper expectations, and answer questions about anything that may be on your mind. So we will be talking about breakthrough technology called ASEA Redox Signaling Molecules. And although Dr. Morin is a doctor, he's not here to provide diagnosis online. This technology is not intended or implied to be substitute for professional medical advice. Redox technology does not treat, cure, heal, prevent, or diagnose any disease or medical condition. These molecules simply empower our body to heal itself by increasing cellular efficiency, functions, and communications. And as we are regulated as a supplement, not medication, to be compliant with the rules and regulation, we are not going to name any particular diseases, illnesses, or use any medical terms. So please remember, when you write your question in the chat, we will be speaking more of the function and of symptoms you may be experiencing. So before I bring on Dr. Morin, we like to start this call with someone who will tell you in their own words what this technology did for them and how it changed their life. It is really my pleasure to welcome Bob Hayek, who is a friend of mine, and he was kind enough to introduce me to this technology almost 3.5 years ago, and didn't give up on me when I was skeptical and I was questioning and I was not interested. But Bob's story is a really powerful one, and I can't wait to hear it. So please welcome Bob Hayek. He's joining us from
Port St. Lucie, Florida.
So
come
Bob,
on, Vera, you live in Florida. You know where I live.
I know where you live. Yes. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm great. Yes, my wife and I, Vivian, we live here in Port St. Lucie, Florida. We've been with ASEA now since November of 2020 is when I started the product line. We started building the business in 2021. We are silver executives. My story, actually, if you don't know, is on realredoxresults.com. It's number 90. Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do today is just give you an update of where I am from where I was in November of 2020, when an angel, I call her my angel, came into my life. See, when Vertus always says, you know, the gift isn't ASEA, the gift is the person that had the courage to tell you about it. And that's so true, because a lot of times we're afraid to open our mouths and tell people because we're afraid of that rejection or whatever. but you don't know what they're going through and what they need. And this could be, like Carolyn Hoffman always says, the missing link. So in 2020, I just happened to bump into this angel. At that time, my kidneys were basically in renal failure. My liver enzymes were 4 times what they were supposed to be. I was taking 1,200 milligrams for discomfort through my body. I held 2 to 3 ounces of fluid in my bladder. I was up 2-3 times a night going to the bathrooms, headaches 2 to 3 times a week. I had to take a depression medication to offset a reaction from an injection I had to take for a neurological disorder that I have, which my father also had. He passed away at the age of 56. He lived the last 15 years of his life in a VA hospital. He couldn't walk, talk, or eat. And so I knew where this thing could go to. But what I'm going to tell you today is Lisa came into my life and introduced me to something that literally at the time I laughed. I said, you know, this is, come on. Because I had a frozen shoulder, and that's what started it. And from there, I started to drink. You know, they told me 2 ounces in the morning, 2 ounces at night. Do that for 7 days. Well, I didn't want to wait 7 days. So the second day, I took 6 ounces. Third day, I took 8 ounces. The detox was tough,
You never
but I
told me
wanted to get.
that.
What's that?
You never told me that. That's
Oh
interesting.
yeah. Well, Dr. Silverman said you're going to have it no matter what because of the amount of medication that I was on.
Yeah.
So I knew it, and I figured let me get to the other side as quick as I could. And the amazing thing was the third day when I woke up, I said to my wife my wife Vivian, I said, it was like I was living in black and white, and somebody just turned on 4K. The clarity in my brain was so strong,
Mm.
it was scary at times. You know, I was trying to put it together. I'm like, how is this happening? Well, 30 days later, she's coming to me saying that, you know, I'm not complaining about my legs anymore. I used to sit on the couch and rub my legs, and I wouldn't moan and groan in my sleep. And about 6 months in, I realized I ran out of bladder medication and had to switch doctors. And when my new doctor did his examination, he told me I wasn't holding any fluid anymore, which was amazing. And then I stopped taking that depression medication. I stopped taking, and this was all under doctor's treatment. They all knew what I was doing, you know.
Right.
But the big one was about 6 months ago. I found myself on Thursday nights is when I would take my injection. And I did it since 2009, never had a problem with it. All of a sudden, I'm sick for 2 days. So when I went to my neurologist, I said, look, kidneys are 100% functional. Liver enzymes are perfect. Bladder empties on its own. Everything's perfect. Haven't had a headache since 2020. But all of a sudden now, every Thursday night when I take this shot, I'm sick for 2 days. I said, I don't know about you, but I think my body's telling me I don't need it. And they looked at me and said, well, okay. They didn't want to agree with me, but they couldn't not agree with me.
Hmm.
So I don't even take that anymore. So
Oh, really?
it's just absolutely incredible what your body can do when it has the right tools to do it with. So if you're sitting on a fence, get off, try it. You have a 30-day money back guarantee. It can't hurt you. The only thing it can do is help you. We just don't know how much and how long you're going to need to do it for. But I see things change regularly, and it's just absolutely amazing. Incredible. And I thank my little angel, Lisa Cassetti, for sticking with me there because that wasn't easy in the beginning, but she knew she'd get through.
And me, thank you.
Oh, yeah, you too. You were a pain in the neck.
You were you were consistent with me, and you know, it was really life-changing. So I'm forever grateful to you. And thank you so much for your story, because it's eye-opening when you realize that something that is considered to only get worse with age, actually body is capable of reversing or really healing itself. So thank you so much, Bob. This was amazing. I hope everybody can experience some significant changes like that. Thank you so much, Bob.
Yeah, I'll stick around if anybody has questions.
Absolutely. Thank you
Vera.
so much. I will now introduce Dr. Marty Morin. I am so confused today. I'm so sorry. I have to spotlight him.
You forgot to take your mind this morning.
I think so. I forgot to take anything.
Hey, Doc.
Hi there.
How are you?
Dr. Morin, thank you so much. Good morning. I'm so sorry. I'm really struggling today.
That's okay. We can cover.
Let me just very briefly introduce Dr. Morin. He is a biomedical researcher who spent much of his career working with NIH and in pharmaceutical research. And while his research was in veterinary field, redox signaling molecules work the same way, whether we are talking about human cells or animal cells. And I always enjoy your presentation because you have so many wonderful examples of how this technology can improve anybody's life. Dr. Morty has been working with ASEA Redox technology for more than 10 years, I believe, had a personal experience and was able to help a lot of people, bringing the awareness and helping around. We sure appreciate his time and the expertise on this subject. Dr. Morin, welcome to our call, and it's all yours.
Well, thank you, Vera, and thank you, Bob. That was a fabulous rendition of your journey using these molecules. And while that is a huge change, there are also the small changes: better sleep, better energy. There's all kinds of reasons for people to get interested and learn about this technology. Now, where did I put my slides? They're not showing up. See, you're not the only one having trouble this morning.
It's one of those days.
Yeah, I'm going to stop the share button and go find the slides. Where'd they go? Oh, ta-da. Excuse me a second. Share screen, and there we go. All right, I usually start presentations about redox molecules with this question, what if? And so you just heard Bob give you an amazing story of his journey with these molecules. What if he's right? What if what Vera's already told you is right? Do you want to take a chance and miss this? So this is the question. What if health and wellness has been transformed by a breakthrough? We all believe that the answer to that question is yes. And as we'll talk about, the breakthrough is called ASEA. I also like to start presentations what we're going to try to cover. Supplementing these redox signaling molecules back to our bodies is 100% safe. Can't name a veterinary drug or a human drug I would say that about. Bob just gave you some examples of human drugs not necessarily working all that great after a while. This technology is effective, as Vera just told you, for both human and animal cells. Of course, human cells are animal cells. Let's start right there. No side effects to using this technology. It doesn't adversely affect your medications. It will, in all likelihood, help your supplements and medications work more efficiently. You have nothing to lose, a lot to gain by understanding this technology. And then, just like Lisa shared with Bob and Bob shared with Vera, tell somebody else, give somebody else a chance to learn about this amazing technology. We've already done the disclaimer, so I'll skip that one. Vera, would you make a note? I want to tell a little story about this 5-year-old stallion, Rocky, at the end. I'm going to come back to this. It's kind of a cautionary tale. And whoops, went the wrong way. And you can find some of these animal recovery stories. Why do I like animal recovery stories? Animals can't have a placebo effect. right? I mean, I might be a fabulous salesman and I might be able to con somebody into thinking that salt water or sugar water is going to make them feel better. And maybe for a while they'll believe me and feel better, a placebo effect. But animals can't do that. I can't talk an animal into having a benefit. So when animals have benefits and they have all the same benefits as humans that I know, and all the humans have the same benefits as animals, as I've watched over many years now, almost 12. You can find some of these animal recovery stories at this website, Animal Webinar, no space, animalwebinar.com. Password for that site is associate. And so about a year after Kathy and I started our journey into ASEA, the company came out with a topical gel form of the same technology, same redox molecules as in the beverage Bob was talking about. The same molecules are in the topical gel. And I was showing people pictures of primarily older people's skin doing better when the gel was applied. And they said, Marty, you're just being tricked. That's a Photoshop image. So I thought, my face has two sides. I'm a researcher. I put the topical gel twice a day on just one side of my face, took a single photograph after 28 days. And this wasn't my idea to crop the photo down, put the words dotted line down the middle of a single picture. Somebody else did that. But this image is available to everybody in ASEA to demonstrate to somebody there has to be something to a technology that can make a change like this in just 28 days. And I want you to note that this side looks a little more wizened than that side. So why is the skin fuller over here? Well, there's no moisturizer in this product, by the way. It's redox signaling molecules. That's what's in there. And the cells, as we've just been talking about, Bob's cells started to function better. Vera's cells started to function better, or she wouldn't be here talking to you this morning. My cells started to function better, and they're actually bigger, fuller, plumper, if you want to say it that way. They're doing better because they have enough of these redox molecules. So, be skeptical, be as skeptical as you want, but try it. Give your body a chance to show you that your body can do better when it has enough, as Bob said, tools, as it has enough of these redox signaling molecules. So here's another website you might go to, 6 Minutes, 6 Reasons. Again, all run together. Number 6 Minutes, 6 Reasons.com by Dr. David Silverman. You can have your fix of Dr. David without him being here today, where he postulates 6 reasons why people might slow themselves down, study this technology, make the best decisions for themselves and those they care about. And so number 1 on his list is you're sick. And 12 years ago, that was me. I had all kinds of health challenges. Number 2 on his list, family member or friend has a health challenge. So put my hand up for that one too, because my wife, Kathy, had unresolved health challenges when we started. As a vet, I like a veterinarian. I like the fact that pets are considered part of the family for our discussion. My wife, Kathy, and I have just come home last night from taking care of our grand dog while our daughter was away. And Miss Luna drinks 2 ounces. I pour 2 ounces into a little bowl and she just laps it straight up twice a day. That's 4 ounces for a standard poodle. Sort of what we ask people to consider starting with. And you just heard Bob say he realized he would probably, because of his health challenges, he probably would need more than 4 ounces a day. Miss Luna is a relatively young standard poodle doing quite well. So far she's doing great on 4 ounces. Anti-aging benefits. Now, when we think anti-aging benefits, we sort of knee-jerk to skin. But what I want you to understand is these anti-aging benefits are available to every cell in your body. Why did Bob's bladder start to work better? Cells. Why did some of his other things, like in his head, start to function better? Cells. This always will come back to cells. And so number 4 on Dr. Silverman's list is athletic performance will improve, right? What do athletes care about? They want their muscle cells to work properly. They would like their joint cells to work properly. Again, cells. Number 5 is being proactive about our health. I'm going to skip that one and come back to it. Jump down to the bottom here. When you have a patent protected, a trade secret protected breakthrough of this magnitude, there's an opportunity here. Bob mentioned it briefly. So get back to the person who brings you to this call and ask them how you might participate in the opportunity. At least know that it's there. Maybe you don't want it, but maybe a friend of yours will. Number 5, being proactive about our health. You see, my wife Kathy and I started at the top of the list. We had health challenges. Bob had health challenges. And so we got started up here. But now we're continuing to use this technology years and years later, in my case, almost 12. Why? Because the way I see it, something's coming. Something's coming for every family. Could be blood sugar, could be blood pressure. Bob's challenge was a progressive problem with his brain, not good. But the point is, something's coming basically for every family has some genetic weakness. And if you had a technology available to you where you might sidestep your family's genetic weakness and never have to experience it, well, now let's assume you do have to experience it, but could delay its onset 5, 10, even 15 years off into the future. This is what I'm talking about, being proactive about our health. This is a perfectly good reason. You don't think there's anything wrong with you right now? This is the best reason I can think of. Of all these reasons, being proactive about your health is why people should be on this technology. Every adult on this planet, I guarantee it, every adult on this planet would function better if their cells had more redox molecules. So one of the concepts ASEA is trying to get across to us is stress. You can't avoid it. You're going to have stress in your day. And stress does what? It tries to bounce you off center. So before the stress hits you, if you're loaded up with enough redox signaling molecules because you're supplementing these products from ASEA, and then the stress hits you, you have a chance for your body to react quickly and to come back into balance. Your body can respond to stress better if you're using these molecules. That's what I've learned. And so let's focus in on the blue bottle now of redox molecules. What's happened? Millions of dollars have been spent studying this technology residing in the blue bottle redox signaling molecules, putting them back into our body in a supplement form. It's really not a supplement. A supplement is something that, like vitamin D. If you're not out in the sun, you're not making enough vitamin D. If you're slathered up in sunscreen, you're not making enough vitamin D. How about vitamin C? You want to supplement these things, and you get that some of it through your diet. But redox signaling molecules, the best way to supplement them or bio-replenish them back to our bodies is through this supplementation with ASEA. And so at the beginning, a lot of the work was spent on, or the money was spent and the work was done to study the safety. And that was really the question my wife Kathy and I had when we got started with ASEA. How safe is it to take these molecules? I've already told you, 100% safe. Cannot hurt yourself taking these molecules. So a lot of money was spent on safety testing, no toxicity at all. And then the real breakthrough, because in the original days, you had to be basically standing right beside the little machine making these molecules in order to benefit because they weren't stable. Some of you watched a little video at the beginning that talked about how these are very reactive molecules in our bodies. But ASEA found a way to stabilize these molecules so these products can now be shipped around the world in a liquid form, topical gel form, other forms. Get back to the person who brings you to this call and ask them about the entire ASEA product line. All of the products have what? Cellular. We're going to keep saying cells. Cellular benefits for you. They were able to stabilize these molecules. That was an even bigger breakthrough than making them. And this is probably the most important slide I ever show anybody. But because we're aging day by day, month by month, year by year, we're making less of these redox molecules. Babies and young children have a lot of redox signaling molecules. It's not to say that babies and young children have no health challenges. Unfortunately, there are sick children, but relatively speaking to the latter stages of life, there's a lot fewer of them. So most young children and young animals have a lot of redox signaling molecules and may not need a supplementation. Here's a teenager. Quite frankly, she is deficient in making as many molecules as her body would benefit from having. If she really wanted to play better tennis, she should know about these molecules. But she hasn't figured out her body is deficient yet. Middle-aged person, starting to notice injuries don't recover quite as quickly as before, some wrinkles on the face, other parts of the body, things aren't recovering the way they want. So beginning to notice changes. As we get out here, we've noticed perhaps a whole lot of changes. Let's just compare skin. Skin of a young child or skin of a baby. Well, not so much. Turnover of the skin from the bottom layer to the top is slowing way down, and there's all kinds of problems with the appearance of skin. Yes, you can look younger if you use these redox molecules, but you're not going to look like a 6-year-old. All right. So all kinds of other changes. How about energy level? My grandkids can go all day long, get up the next day, do it again, get up the next day, do it again, keep doing that day after day. Well, maybe granddad can't keep up at that level, but I'll tell you, I'm doing a lot better than I was those nearly 12 years ago. And so how about sleep? We say sleeps like a baby. Well, I don't. I'm usually up at least once during the night. Bob talked about that being a problem in his condition. So all kinds of things are changing as we age, and the part of the reason for that, maybe most of the reason for that, is less redox signaling molecules. But you know, there's another slope that's going up, and that's the slope of more chronic health challenges, and those chronic health challenges becoming more severe with age. So for many reasons, it's really good to know that there is the possibility of supplementing redox signaling molecules back to our bodies. And so this oval on the left is trying to represent a human cell, animal cell, all look about the same. And inside the cell is salt water. Why? Well, most of your body is actually composed of saline, salt water. We get hooked up at the hospital to a bottle of dripping fluid called isotonic saline for a reason. That's what's inside your cells. That's what's between your cells. And so mitochondria, don't get stuck on medical terms. Just think power plant for the city. This is the power plant for the cell. And it's taking this apart. If you remove sodium from chloride, no, it's not salt. It's now a sodium atom and a chloride atom. If you take hydrogen away from oxygen, it's no longer water. It's hydrogen and it's oxygen, not water. If you recombine those atoms together, ions really, but if you recombine them together, you end up with redox signaling molecules. I don't want you to blame me. As long as there have been living cells, I don't care, could be human, could be animal, could be plant. As long as there have been living cells on this planet, this process is going on. Redox signaling molecules made at the cellular level of every living cell. If you went into the scientific literature, you'd find over 40, and you searched on redox signaling, you'd find over 40,000 now science articles talking about how critical redox signaling is to your health and your wellness and your cellular function. Now, I'm not trying to trick you. Not 40,000 articles about ASEA. They don't believe in that. But they do understand that redox signaling molecules are critical to your health. You can see Redox Life, a book back there behind me. I've got another copy of it right here because I want you to note this is a very thick reference book, not just talking about human and cells and human health challenges, but animals, plants, all are functioning and alive because they're making sufficient redox signaling molecules. And so if you care about cellular rejuvenation, you want your cells to function younger, or if you want your cells to be replaced, sometimes our cells get worn out. They're just not working correctly anymore. They're diseased. The body takes those away and puts a new cell in that position. If you care about cellular rejuvenation and renewal, this is a very important topic for you to understand. Please study this. Give your body a chance to show you it can still recover from your health challenges. Or just have a better day. How about that? That's good too. This is Anne Louise Gittleman. We call her the First Lady of Nutrition. She has over 30 best-selling books on nutrition. And of ASEA, she says, it's the greatest advance in lifestyle medicine that she knows. This is Dr. Gary Samuelson. Let's note that he is an atomic medical physicist. That's a nanoparticle guy, really small particles like redox signaling molecules. None of them are bigger than 4 atoms, really tiny. What does that mean? They can go to work right away, right into our cells, help our cells function better, right across the blood-brain barrier and help, like what Bob was trying to share with you earlier. His health challenge is less serious. He needs less medication. Why? In part, these molecules are going to help the cells in his brain as well as cells all over the rest of his body. So who's Marty? Marty's one of now hundreds of medical professionals like Dr. Silverman. You've heard about Dr. Hoffman. You can listen to her tonight. I think it's 8 o'clock p.m. And that's endorsing this technology. Probably by now it's hundreds of thousands of lives transformed, like mine has been because like Bob's has been, because we use this technology. We bio-replenish, we supplement it back to our body. This is a huge health and wellness breakthrough. We don't want you to miss it. Now, I mentioned athletes a little earlier. They like this technology because they can do more work. They have more endurance. They can go further. They're stronger. They're recovering significantly faster. So an athlete is out in a tough competition. I think yesterday was the Boston Marathon. I didn't check on the results, but that's 26 miles. That's a long way to run. Or walk. Some of them, I guess, walk. But the point is, after they did that, if they were supplementing with this technology, they would probably be willing to go out and exercise today. They could recover significantly faster, meaning they can do more training. It means they get to more competitions. Several of the people, I'm not a marathoner, but several of the people I know who are swear by this technology. But the point is, how about walking up and down the stairs? That's to me a huge benefit that I am getting from using this technology, being able to get up and move around, get out and enjoy my day. So then the last thing they say is they're making better decisions while they're competing in their sport. This technology comes from salt and water. How could that possibly be banned for athletic performance? None of these athletes would be alive if they weren't primarily salt and water. And so you can't supplement salt and water product back to the body and have any athletic entity say you can't use that supplement. Even the Olympics allows the supplementation with ASEA. Cannot hurt you. In all likelihood, would even benefit athletes, including teenagers. They just, again, haven't figured it out yet. All right, well, we could show you some pictures of skin doing better, but suffice to say that with the topical gel, same redox molecules, you will have fewer wrinkles. Your skin will be more elastic. If you pull it up, it's going to snap down quickly. It's going to have fewer wrinkles. We said fewer wrinkles. It's going to be thicker, like you saw with my image. How about less cellulite? Maybe stretch marks just kind of going away over time. Age spots basically disappearing. But it's all kinds of stuff. I think of this Renew 28 topical gel as like a first aid kit in a tube. Maybe I'm the only one here that's clumsy, but I occasionally nick my finger with a knife or touch a hot pot. And I have a vehicle to help me basically the next day have trouble finding where did I enter myself again? I can't find it. Insect bites, how about that? Touching the wrong plant in the garden, all kinds of things. Aftershave. Now, Bob lives down in Florida, and he might actually have some need for avoiding too much sun. But this is my, if you want to call it sunscreen, I don't. I mean, it's just helping my cells respond if I do get out in the summertime in too much sun. I live up in Maryland. We're not quite at summertime here yet. All right, so we have a liquid form of this technology. We actually have multiple redox technologies now, but a liquid form, topical gel form, we can do our anti-aging from the inside coming out toward the surface of the skin. We can do it in the other direction. We can put it on topically with our Renew 28 and now our Redox Gold. We'll talk about that in a minute. We can do the anti-aging from the outside going in. It's going to go deeper than skin. It's going to help joints. It's going to help muscles. Australia started with ASEA. They couldn't buy the liquid. The liquid wasn't allowed to come into the country as a supplement. So they all started with the topical gel form and got all the same benefits the rest of us in the world were having using both products. These products work. And you can do it either way. I recommend both or all. It depends on how you want to look at it. We encourage you, give this product a chance to help you and help those you care about. Our summary slide again. This is 100% safe. Supplementing this for humans, for our pets, 100% safe. Highly effective. Every time I get up, and when I get up in the morning, first thing I do is consume a lot. I am 77 years old, so I consume a lot of molecules. Don't start a rumor, Marty's sick. Marty's not sick. I drink a lot because I can, and I want to get all of my cells functioning as well as possible, as fast as possible. 100% effective is the way I think about it, whether you're using the gel or the liquid or some of the other products. No side effects to using this technology. It doesn't harm your medications. In all likelihood, it's going to help our supplements and medications work more efficiently. Over time, I have gotten off all my medications. There were medications I was on for 30 years. I don't use them anymore. Nothing to lose, a lot to gain by understanding this technology, and then we're going to encourage you to tell somebody else. You want to join us in an ASEA business, sharing this and teaching other people about it, great. But if you want to be a customer, still, don't keep this information to yourself. Pass it on to somebody. You could truly transform their life. What if health and wellness is transformed by a breakthrough? All right. So, Vera, while you queue up some questions, chat for a minute while I go find my video.
Yeah, I don't want you to forget about that gorgeous horsey.
All right, let's share this. All right, you can see that, right?
Yes.
I'm not going to turn the sound on. This is Rocky. Rocky's a 5-year-old stallion, and this photograph probably over 6 now, but you might notice, if you know anything about horses, this might not be the best enclosure for a 5-year-old young stallion. And so Rocky injured his lower front right leg, and he was down in a lot of discomfort. The owner called a veterinarian out. The veterinarian saw the injury, very severe lower leg injury, horse in a lot of discomfort, recommended putting the horse down, recommended euthanasia. Lady didn't like that suggestion, and so she actually called a second veterinarian out. Same process, looked at the horse, saw the severe injury, knew that if he tried to help the horse with that injury, he would likely fail with his modalities, his technologies he had available to him to help the horse. Didn't want to take a lot of her money and then fail to help her help the owner's horse recover. So he was actually trying to do her a favor. They actually also discussed surgery. He thought the surgery would probably be in the area of $30,000. The horse would have to be shipped off to a hospital that could do it. Probabilities of recovery not excellent. And again, the lady thought, I don't have an extra $30,000 to throw at this problem. And fortunately, she knew somebody in ASEA, like Lisa helped Bob, and Bob helped Vera. Somebody helped the owner of this horse learn about redox molecules. And so they came out, showed the owner how to use the redox molecules to help the injured lower leg, front right leg of this horse. And so this video was taken 8 weeks down the road. Now, I'm going to admit that Rocky is still a little lame in this video. He's totally sound now. But during this video, he is still a little lame in the front right. But tell me if you think this horse would be better off if he were dead. Now, I love the fact that Rocky was smart enough not to come full weight down on that front right leg. It is still a little sore, but Rocky wants to play. Rocky is 100% sound today, and this technology is what made the difference for him. Cautionary tale here. Your doctor, your dentist, your veterinarian, in all likelihood, does not know that supplementing redox signaling molecules is even available. Most people in the world have never heard about this technology. Until Lisa talked to Bob, he hadn't heard about it. Until Bob talked to Vera, she had not heard about it. When somebody called our house and mentioned this, we were totally surprised. I mean, if somebody, 50 years plus as a veterinarian, primarily affecting the research community, I should have known about redox signaling molecules, but I didn't. So don't expect the advice you're getting from your doctor, dentist, veterinarian to include this technology. You and your body have the chance to live younger, longer. So I would strongly encourage you to learn about it a little bit. Now, I'm going to share another.
Can I ask one question, Dr. Morin?
Yes, go ahead.
I think I remember this horse had a very special parents, didn't he?
Yes, Rocky, actually, his grandfather was the great racehorse Secretariat. And if you had a picture of young Secretariat next to Rocky the horse, I would tell you that they all had 3 what are called white socks. The lower part of their leg was turned white. Rocky and Secretariat had 3, they were different legs, but the horses looked almost identical at the same age.
So that would be quite a loss for pedigree like that. Yeah.
Yes, he had quite the pedigree, didn't he? I'm just going to show you this real quick. This is the National Library of Medicine. If you went to pubmed.gov and put in the words redox signaling, that's the key to search, you're going to find, again, pop up some of these articles that are talking about how critical redox signaling is. In this case, they're also talking about the function of mitochondria. But some of these, usually you just get the abstract and maybe some of the slides or some of the charts that are part of the story. But in this particular case, the entire paper is available if you just click on the free paper. I will tell you that when I look at science articles, I start with the abstract. If I am opening the full paper, I go all the way to the bottom and look at the conclusions of the study. I read science backwards. So don't get stuck plowing all the way through all of these papers if you have any interest at all at looking at them. You can get a lot of information just out of the abstract or the conclusions of the studies. Should we do a little bit about Redox Gold?
Yes, I was going to remind you of that. Yes.
All right, so let me get my slides queued back up. Vamp for me for a few minutes. All right, so we're over here. Share screen is there. Redox Gold. All right, so now we have a new technology. It's, again, redox signaling molecules in a topical gel form, but molecular gold has been added. Why in the world would they do that? Well, you should know that gold has been used for centuries. Not, well, I guess it's now millennia, to help with discomfort. So people have known about gold for a very long time, helping the body feel better. Now, molecular gold is a little harder to have available, and so that is a new part of the technology. What they found is when they added molecular gold back to a topical gel, a little different than the Renew 28 gel, but still a topical gel, they could affect the relief of discomfort. Bob mentioned having a lot of discomfort. Wouldn't it be nice if you had a way to do relief? Well, you say, but Dr. Morin, I can go get some ice out of the freezer and I can have relief for discomfort. Yes, you can, but you can't do recovery. Ice is not going to help you recover. These technologies, whether it's Renew or Redox Gold or Liquid ASEA, are going to help our body get on a path of recovery. Younger functioning cells, better functioning cells, that's the recovery piece that's available to us. If you actually dispense some of this onto your finger, you could actually see some flecks of gold inside it. That's not the molecular part, but there are molecular gold molecules in here, even some flakes of gold in this topical gel. Now, what happened? I don't want you to think this is speculation. We already know this works. NRF2, again, don't get stuck on medical stuff here. This is just how your body makes something called glutathione, which is very important for your body to detoxify itself. And what I love about this study with Redox Gold is that the baseline here is actually these products, Liquid ASEA or the topical gel Renew 28. So these cells over here, what we're calling control, are already enhanced in function over what adult cells would be able to do. And quite frankly, I don't care about 160%. That doesn't impress me. What I care about is the Redox Gold works better. That's all. All we need to know. It works better. And so in this study, this part of the study, what they did was to compromise the cells. So here's our baseline adult cell function, if you will, with either liquid ASEA or the Renew topical gel, Renew 28 topical gel. So enhanced cell function right here. Again, if you put the gold into the experiment, it would work better, Redox Gold. Now we took these enhanced cells and we compromised them so they didn't be, their ability to make glutathione was severely reduced. And when in these cells we put the gold into the experiment, the function was almost 100% restored. I don't care 160, I don't care 70, I don't care 280. What I want you to know is it's proven that the Redox Gold will work better even than the two greatest products I had ever seen before Redox Gold came out. Gold will work better, and what you can get is less discomfort. So this pink, orange, even yellow, think hot. This is a thermograph. It's a temperature reading. This guy's back is warm, hot. His neck is worse. The leg's not good. The hands, I don't know. These could be three different people. Doesn't matter. The pink, the orange, the yellow, red, not good. And within 15 minutes of applying the Redox Gold, you're seeing greens and blues. You're seeing a lot less heat, and heat usually translates into discomfort. Let's note that this part of the neck probably still has some discomfort, right? There's still some heat up here, not as bad as it was there, but still it's there. And so we're not trying to tell you that in 15 minutes you're going to be cured. These redox molecules don't do that. What they do is in very short order help your cells function better. So you can have relief. That's a good thing. Lots of products on the market can do relief. However, none of them that I'm aware of can do both relief and recovery. That's why I used Redox Gold. And even though I don't have a lot of discomfort, I might have a tight neck because I turned the wrong way. I put the gold on. I have some parts of my body I know are not 100%. They don't hurt me, but I know they're not 100%. So why wouldn't I use a product that actually works better than some of these others, documented to have a better benefit? Now, if I'm looking for younger looking skin, or in my case, summertime sun benefit, I'm going with this one. If I want skin to do better, I'm going with this one. But if anything connected to discomfort or long-standing problems, I'm going to go with the gold. Questions, comments?
Could you, Dr. Morin, could you touch up on Bob mentioned in his testimonial that he was suffering with some detox. Could you touch up on that? What can people expect if they start on the protocol? What are the expectations time-wise? How important it is to take a baseline of their health before they start?
Yeah, I would encourage you to record everything. If you're going to use the topical gel for younger looking skin, take some photos at the beginning as well. Or if you have an injury and you're going to use the topical gel to try, like Rocky's severe injury in his leg, take some photos and then march your way through using this technology and how fast you recover. Detox. Your body is detoxing as you sit there right now. Your body is detoxing every second, every minute of every day. Now, what Bob was talking about was detoxing in a noticeable way that causes interference in your day. That's the detox people worry about. Mm-hmm. My computer is sitting here backing itself up while we're doing this presentation. I don't want it to interfere with the presentation. I don't want my body to detox and interfere with my day. So if your body is detoxifying too quickly, and you can't handle a discomfort maybe in your head, bowels, or maybe a little upset, whatever it is, all you'll have to do is, first of all, get back to the person who's talking to you about this technology and get some advice from them. But we might have to lower the serving size for a time, not forever, but you might take the serving size down. Bob did it the other way. Bob ran through the detox quickly by going up in his serving size. It depends on who you are and what you have to do during the day. If you're a young mother chasing around after 3 little kids, you probably don't have time to rush through your detox. You have to maybe do it a little slower. But some of us who understand detox is really my friend. I want to detox. And I agree with Bob. I would want to detox faster rather than slower. But again, it depends on what you're doing during your day and whether you can be inconvenienced.
Mm-hmm.
Again, detox is good. You want to get the toxins out of your body. Bob was on so many medications, he had all kinds of bits and pieces left in his body. He had to get rid of them. And I'd say the same thing. I started taking this technology now almost 12 years ago. It tasted awful. Why? I was toxic.
Yeah.
The product doesn't taste like anything. It's just wet. But my body tasted it and said, "Oh, that's terrible." It's not. It's you. Your body is out of balance, and once you get it back in balance, it won't taste like anything.
When somebody is starting, do you recommend to commit to a certain amount of time as a minimum to see what body can repair itself?
Well, whenever a drug trial is going on, they want to go on for 90 days. This product is guaranteed for 30. So if you do what Bob did, if you start and you ramp it up fairly quickly, you'll probably know within a month whether this is working for you or not. My wife, Kathy, and I didn't even know to ramp it up all those years ago, and we still had a benefit in a month. But don't count on that. Do this trial correctly, take the product correctly, and I agree with Bob. Rush through it as quick as you can handle it and see what your benefit is within 30 days. You're not happy? Get your money back. Quite frankly, now with the Redox Gold product, everybody get one of these. Don't just put it on things that cause discomfort for you. Put it on some of your neighbors and friends and say, what do you think of this? Is this making any difference to you? I will say that one of our neighbors was in our house and she was having trouble just getting up out of a chair. And she put this on, and then we're sitting there continuing our conversation. She's popping up and down and up and down and up. And it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Now, look, am I guaranteeing that? No. If everybody had a Rocky 5-year-old stallion with an injured lower leg, would they get the same benefit as Rocky? I don't know that. I don't. Rocky did.
Yeah.
If you go to animalwebinar.com and listen to some of those stories, all those animals had a benefit, and it's everything: birds, fish,
Cat,
lizards. Every species, large animals, small animals, everything can benefit. Every living thing. Cut flowers. You bring cut flowers into your house, spray them with a little spray bottle of Redox molecules. They'll last longer. This isn't up for debate. This works. You either want it or you don't.
It doesn't work if you leave it in a box or don't.
That's right. That's right.
I want to mention that recently we have a new special in ASEA, and it kinds of the average amount that most people are thriving on. It's 6 ounces a day. We used to start on 4 ounces and then go double, but the 6 ounces seems to be like the average person, wonderful serving size. And we have a special for that, deeply discounted with that includes one of those Redox Renew 28 gels, and it also includes free shipping. So that may be a wonderful way to start, so you have enough product to experiment how much your body needs and how your body responds. That's just one of the things that I want to bring up.